Hello and welcome to the Global Case Study Snippet. Today we are going to cover the case study of Belarus. The key concept what can be covered over here are of power, sovereignty, legitimacy, violence and human right. Belarus, often referred to as Europe's last dictatorship, has been ruled by President Alexander Lukashenko for 26 years. In the 2020 Belarus election, Lukashenko won again with 80% of the vote despite a strong opposition movement. There had been a series of protests in Belarus against Belarusian government. He has been president of Belarus since 1994. Svetlana, the main opponent of Lukashenko, rejected the election results and considered it as falsified. The citizens of Belarus tried to take out their frustration on the internet, but after the election results were released, there was an internet blackout. People began protesting on the streets. The government responded by detaining protesters. It is estimated that 30,000 protesters were detained in total. There have been reports that these protesters are being tortured in custody. The police have also fired rubber bullets, stun grenades, water cannons, and tear gas into crowds of peaceful protesters. The EU and USA responded by imposing harsh sanctions on Belarus. The EU published a statement which rejected the legitimacy of the election, called for new election, and condemning the repression and violence against the protesters. Countries like the UK, Canada, Slovakia introduced sanctions against the Belarusian government. The Belarusian government responded by imposing symmetrical sanctions against an undisclosed list of EU officials. Moreover, Lukashenko accused the EU and other Western organizations of trying to harm Belarus by destabilizing the current regime while supporting the opposition. Russia and Belarus have a union treaty envisaging close political, economic, and military ties. Belarus' authoritarian president visited Russia in a bid to secure more loans and political support. Putin and Russia. Putin said Russia would provide a $1.5 billion loan to Belarus and fulfill all its obligations under a union treaty between the two neighbors. He emphasized that the Belarusians themselves must settle their political situation without any foreign meddling and commended Lukashenko for his pledge to conduct a constitutional reform. The impact of such situation on illegal migrant. Fact: Belarus is not a part of EU. Are migrants used as weapon to trouble the neighboring countries then? Migrants and refugees, mostly from the Middle East, were brought to Belarus. They began showing up on the Latvian, Lithuanian, and Polish borders, creating a migrant crisis. Lukashenko's involvement in this crisis is unverified, but it appears to be orchestrated to outside sources. Without the money that international trade brings the country, Lukashenko claimed that he could no longer fulfill the EU's request to control illegal migration and leaving the migrants at the mercy of Poland, who is part of EU. I hope you liked the video. Stay safe and stay tuned.